Like, that person is misgendering himself. I am not misgendering him. He is the one who is misgendering himself. Fuck with me. I'll die on that hill. It's more, oh, well, what color is this person? What color? What's their religion? What's their? Or are they support Ukraine? Or they just support Russia? Or they support Hamas and Palestine? Or they support Israel? Or are they?
I'll say it like this: if you were especially in the infantry world in the military, where I was, we don't give a shit if you're whatever race or sexuality, as long as you do your fucking job. So, what are the chances of them being prior military service in their own country coming to? My energy level's so low.
You're getting up there in age, aren't you?
Yeah,
Testosterone booster, my guy.
I've been taking testosterone, but it's not. I need more milligrams. I need more milligrams of it. See, I'm not graying yet. See, I'm not graying yet. He found his dildo. We're not sponsored by them folks, but go cop you up some testosterone.
Not sponsored, but if you're over the age of 35, your testosterone is starting to drop. So no matter what you use as a man, go try some kind of testosterone booster. 6-star GNC, all good stuff. This is M Drive, not sponsored by them. You can pick them up at the supermarket. So also,
my dick still works, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily for that. It's just for keeping your testosterone levels normal. Once you get to a certain age, they start to dip. So this just kind of keeps them regular. This is a testosterone booster. It's not actual testosterone. It's not artificial. It triggers the part in your brain that creates testosterone to produce more natural testosterone than it would without the help.
Science.
Also,
you are smart.
Huh?
You are smart.
So, I've never been big into health and fitness. I'm still not. I still slack. There's times where I should be working out and I don't because I have anything else to do. So I have to actually push myself to do these things. But in the process, I've learned quite a bit. Take a complete multivitamin. Century for Men.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is I take. Also take a probiotic.
Yeah, so it's all about body health and everything. So that's where we're going to start. We're just going to start with the podcast. Hit the intro. That would suck. Hey guys, Matt here, telling y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell to get notified each time that we're on. I want to say I love y'all so much. Enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And welcome, and hold on. Welcome to the Article 1776 podcast. You always fucking interrupt. God damn it.
Yes, that's me. I do that. I'm the interrupting Cal.
Moo. Welcome to the Article 1776. Welcome to the Article 1776 podcast. I am Matt. This is
Scott still 87.
Fucking A, right. So we have quite a bit of topics today that we want to discuss. And speaking about body transformation, the first part was for the good. Uh, Body transformation for this part, however, if you allow it to try to pollute other people's minds with it, people want to do with what they want to do. But if you're going to force others to believe in the fact that uh, this is the way to go, the more that you're going to generate people to go against it. Don't.
Look, man, I grew up on a farm. You
Mhm.
can put a pig, you can put a wig on a pig, but it's still a fucking pig.
Yeah. And
There's no
exactly.
getting around that.
When I was in the Marine Corps, with the infantry world, we didn't give a shit about what race you are, sexuality, as long as you performed your fucking job. This lieutenant colonel wants to force inclusion to everything. Please play the clip. Please play the clip.
But it's inclusion that actually drives that.
I don't believe you.
Because you can bring people in, and if they don't feel safe to speak up, if they don't feel safe to bring their full selves to work,
Boy, do you sound soft.
you're not going to get the value of the diversity.
There's that word again.
So for us, it is absolutely critical to drive our future success as an organization and potentially on the battlefield.
Oh, we're going to lose the next war.
So inclusion is a national security imperative.
We are screwed.
We fight today, and we are going to revolutionize the way we fight in space, we fight in cyber. Just happens to be in a trans body. You should want them all serving alongside me.
No.
So yeah, this is what we're dealing with. This is our military. This whole like pushing diversity and inclusion. Look, be diverse. That's fine. Look, if you're purple and you don't want to join the army, you don't have to. If you're purple and pink and you want to join the military, go for it. But don't expect to be treated any different than anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I get that people nowadays, there's some people out there who feel like they are women. Okay, cool. You do you, but you know what? I don't have to be involved in your fucking convoluted delusions here. Not everyone's going to play along. This is getting out of hand. There's no scientific data that says inclusion makes anything better or makes anything more productive. Actually, I've been hearing that the whole DEI project that companies have been pushing have been more detrimental than anything. So, you know,
it's more of a liability if you're forcing inclusion upon everyone, trying to force it upon everyone. If I'll say it like this: if you were especially in the infantry world in the military, where I was, we don't give a shit if you're whatever race or sexuality, as long as you do your fucking job. If a man performs their job better than what said transgender does, we're going to give more responsibilities to the fucking male that is doing top notch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about your gender, it's not about your race, it's about your skill, it's about your determination, your drive, your work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I deal with bankruptcy stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if someone was from India, just came to America, or had been here a while and started working with me and knew what they were doing, awesome. I see you no different in this job aspect as anything else, and guess what? You're just as much of a person as I am anyway, so why would I look at you any different? Now, if you're a white kid or a white guy or whoever trying to do the exact same job and you suck as a person, you suck as an employee, you suck at your job, well, then of course I'm going to feel some kind of way about you. I don't want to work with David. David is lazy. I would rather work with, you know, I don't want to be like, racist or stereotypical, but, you know, the Indian person I said before, like, I'd rather work with that person because they know what the fuck they're doing. They actually might be personable. They actually might not have the personality of a fucking wet sponge. So yeah, it's if this person was a woman, a biological woman, and had all those decorations because she earned them, because she fucking did the work and put the effort in and got those fucking accommodations, I can respect that. I can't respect this man.
I was about to say
that's not a woman. That is a man. I cannot respect that man. Only for the simple fact because I'm going to say it, he can't live with who he really is.
That's a jawline
I'm not
of a
misgendering
man.
him. He's misgendering himself.
That's a jawline of a man.
That fucking nose, that's a fucking dude. That forehead, that's a fucking 5-head, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that person is misgendering himself. I am not misgendering him. He is the one who is misgendering himself. Fuck with me. I'll die on that hill. And guess what? If you feel the same way, you're not wrong. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You actually have some common fucking sense, and I applaud you for it.
I have speaking about crazy. I have a clip of Joe Biden trying to kiss Macaulay Culkin instead of.
Oh, I saw that one. It was horrible.
I'm gonna put it right here.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Please don't. And he does it anyway. God damn it.
So, yeah, if you're trying to force, if a person's good at their job, if their person is good at what was required of them to do, then yeah, we don't give a shit whether if you like dicks or if you like vaginas or you want your vagina to be a dick or vice versa. If you're good at what you fucking are supposed to do,
here's the thing.
No need to force inclusion into everything or everyone. That person just has to be good at that said position.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. If you're my coworker, you're a black person, you're great at your job, you're a decent human being, you're a good person, you're helpful, you're dependable, you're knowledgeable, and you're a good person in and outside of work, I would love to be your fucking friend. If you're, Chinese and you're the same way, I'd love to be your fucking friend. If you're fucking pink, have 6 limbs, and speak 19 different languages, and you're a fucking piece of shit, I don't want you around me. Has nothing to do with color. It's content of character. Like, did you shovel snow as a kid? Did you mow the lawn as a child? Did you drink from the hose? Did you eat your cereal out of a Cool Whip bowl that was stained with either chili or spaghetti sauce? Guess what color you are? Fucking poor. So was I. Like, it's not about your skin color. It's not about your race, your religion. It's, are you a piece of shit? That's it.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, one of my best friends, him and his family were immigrants from China. I would go to their house often, totally confused by their customs and all the things that they did. But you know what? It was fascinating. I learned a lot of things, and Thomas was my friend. And he, he had the stereotypical Chinese kid accent. He had the broken English, but he was a decent fucking person, and his family was honest. That's the kind of people I surround myself with.
You just reminded me of a great friend that I had by the name of Sebastian, who was Colombian. Him and his family was Colombian, and got used to their foods and customs. And what I would do is I would help physically train him, like workouts and stuff like that, and to kind of get him in the, so then that way he doesn't get bullied or anything else like that, because there are some people that would be bullying him, and I wasn't going to be around for most of the time. But him and his family are absolute fucking sweethearts if they see this.
Yeah, I mean, like in high school,
Mm-hmm.
junior high, kind of cliche, had a band. One of the guitar players in the band, his name was Aaron. His family was Filipino,
Mm-hmm.
and cool as fuck. It's not about like your my buddy Malik, big old black dude with dreads. Dude's a sweetheart. He's like a big old teddy bear, man.
Uh-huh.
He's an awesome fucking dude. He's funny as hell. He's also a streamer. But he's he's a good friend. And I think that's what people are missing. It's more, oh, well, what color is this person? What color? What's their religion? What's their? Or are they support Ukraine? Or they just support Russia? Or they support Hamas and Palestine? Or they support Israel? Are they transgender? Are they demi bi? I don't fucking know. I'm tired of all this stupid shit. Just leave me alone. Let me eat my fucking Cheerios in peace.
I have a question. How do you react when someone asks you, what are your pronouns?
Major threat. Seriously, I've said that. So what are your pronouns? Major threat.
Do you know what I put? Dick head.
I don't think those are pronouns, but then again, if you can, what's it called? Oh shit!
I've heard the motto said before. It's better to
No,
be a
no,
dickhead
no,
than
no,
an
no,
asshole.
no. Keep going. I'm trying to think.
I've heard this motto said before. It's better to be a dickhead than an asshole, because assholes get fucked. Dickheads do the fucking.
Yeah, but oh god. Appropriation. You can't appropriate a fucking pronoun. It doesn't work that way. Language does not work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people want to get all fucking pissed off for appropriating culture and shit. Well, guess what? You're appropriating gender. You're misgendering yourself on purpose because you're stupid. Sorry.
Yeah. So, and
I'm going to ruffle some feathers with that one.
Speaking, if we haven't already, we're going to be ruffling some feathers with the next topic that we want to talk about, and that's what's going. You're more in tune of what is going on that subject than what I am. So, if
I have to say this. It's not so much that I'm in tune with it. Most of the time, it's just background noise when I'm doing schoolwork.
Yeah.
I type in news. That's it. I put news and I click the first one and my shit's on autoplay and I don't have commercials. So.
Thank you, Spotify.
YouTube. I have YouTube Premium. So, I let shit play in the background and like I heard this and I stopped, I looked up and I was like, okay. I went back to the beginning of the fucking thing and, sure as shit. We've talked about this, I believe, several fucking times. Oh, also share system audio. For some reason, that was taken off. That's funny. We've talked about this several times, and it's funny that this person is speaking on this topic because he's Chinese, of Chinese, ancestry or descent, however you want to put it, to be politically correct.
Yeah.
So it's funny that he's talking about it. But we've talked about the situation that's going on with the border several times. Mm-hmm. We've talked about, Movesdom, whatever the fuck his name was. Mm-hmm. You don't know my name soon enough?
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that was very pejoric, but,
You're almost accurate with the
I mean, but that was his act. That was his accent. Like, I'm, doing it verbatim. So
masturbatum.
The fuck was that?
It's your ghost again.
Look, he's even woke up.
Yeah, it might be the kids upstairs. I don't know.
Well, what is it? You're supposed to be the guard dog. Don't look. Yeah, tilt your head a little harder. You'll understand it better. um. You've got like fuzz hanging off your face. You know that, right? Not you, him.
Oh, I thought you were looking straight at me.
And it's bothering the shit out of me.
Adorable dog time.
Sorry, I love that dog. That dog filled another dog-shaped hole in my heart.
Aw.
He's a good boy. So we've talked about this several times. There's issues at the border, and we've talked about, lately there have been fighting age military males coming across the border. Now I want you to listen to what this gentleman says.
$4 billion over 20 years. But the other issue, of course, is the border, as you've talked about, because across that border, we are seeing Chinese soldiers come across. And really what we're talking about is China putting together the infrastructure in the U.S. to attack the U.S. So clearly we've got to secure that border or we're going to be fighting on our own soil.
Well, it's just incredible to me that this administration refuses to acknowledge all these Chinese nationals that are coming through the border. They're creating a little mini army. And I'm wondering what the point is here. Are they trying to put people in place, I'm talking about communist China, so that when and if Donald Trump wins, they can create havoc in the streets and become saboteurs, starting wildfires and propaganda?
Absolutely. That lab in Reedley, California, the secret Chinese biological weapons facility, that can't be the only one that China has. And then you put together these images of recent Chinese migrants coming into the U.S. less than 3 weeks, taking target practice with sniper rifles and pistols. So really what we have here is the makings of a Chinese army, not in China, but in the United States itself. And the Biden administration is not tracking these people.
This is incredibly disturbing. And you said target. I know you just wrote.
So now I want you to listen or think back to what he said.
Really quick. I'm going to cut into what when he talks into when she talks, so then that way people can know who's talking.
Okay.
You were saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I want you to pay attention to what he said there. 3 weeks after Chinese nationals are crossing the border, and they know that they're crossing the border, obviously, because they have surveillance on them if they know that they're going to places to get training with, sniper rifles, pistols, And this is the craziest thing I've seen. And it didn't dawn to me until like the last couple of years that every time I go to any kind of surplus store, right? Or any type of outfitter of any kind, there are just as many fighting age, male, hate me for it, I love it, Arabs and Asians in these places buying gear.
I have a question for you, though. Sorry. I know that in Korea, between the ages, I think it was like 21 to 30, you would have to serve at least 2 years in the Korean army.
18.
For China?
I think it's even younger than that, though.
So what are the chances of them being prior military service in their own country?
100% chance. 100% chance. Absolutely 100% chance. And this is the shit that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
There's an absolute 100% chance.
What if they come over here? People are like, "Oh, open up the borders," and it comes to bite us in the ass.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're saying.
I'm a little slow. I need my crayons.
Yeah, try the yellow ones. They're good for pep. So think back to a couple weeks ago when we covered the terrorist who came over. He had already done 12 years in prison in Azerbaijan or Jordan or wherever the fuck it was for terrorist acts. Transiting weapons, all that good shit. All the stuff that the terrorists do, all the terrorisms. He was doing all the terrorisms.
Like, you get a terrorism. You get a terrorism.
You get a terrorism. He's the fucking Oprah of terrorisms. The Oprah of terrorisms. Put that on his shirt. But he's already here, and we haven't heard anything about him since. So, let me ask you a question. I haven't heard anything about him since. You haven't heard anything about him since, and nobody else on the YouTubes has heard anything about him since. Where the fuck did he go? Do we have eyes on it? Do we know where? Not we, but does the government know where he went? The government wants to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we not know where this guy is? He's a terrorist. He's a known terrorist, and he even said, "You're gonna know my name soon." So I think we should be looking at him.
Yeah,
not PTA moms.
FBI. I think that you're beginning to be more along the lines of another 3-letter agency that screwed up. Fast and Furious. Operation Fast and Furious.
I was gonna say. Yeah. But people are gonna be like, "Oh, Vin Diesel, no." I'm gonna say this. That I pity those who know peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have no idea what's coming for you. I've said it. I don't know if it's going to be next week, next month, tomorrow, next year. Is it going to be shortly after Trump wins, or Biden wins? Are we going to let Biden win again? Because obviously the motherfucker's asleep at the wheel. Like, fuck, at this point, I just want, like, maybe Jack Daniels for president. That sounds good.
Captain Morgan, too, except he's on the president's Oval Office desk doing the pose.
Captain Morgan is the vice president, but Jack Daniels is the man. Jack Daniels didn't actually come up with that style of brewing or that recipe.
Who did?
Okay, so there was back when the man Jack Daniels was a boy, there was a preacher in the town that he lived in who also had a distillery. The preacher had taught a slave of his, who his nickname was apparently Uncle Ernest, was what they called him. And he was a master distiller, and he was learned through the filtration process that Jack Daniels made famous. So young Jack Daniels was always curious, was always there on the property, but had always asked the preacher what was the black smoke coming from the middle of the holler. So one day the preacher finally gave in, took him back there, and showed him all like the distillery stuff, all the pots, the kettles, how to filter it, how to, all that stuff. Well, the preacher saw the wonderment in Jack Daniels' eyes, and Jack Daniels was there every day trying to learn everything he could. So after a while, the preacher had asked Uncle Ernest to teach him, Jack Daniels, everything that Uncle Ernest knew about making whiskey in that specific manner. And Uncle Ernest was actually the preacher said, one of the best distillers that he had ever known. So, those things get lost to time, and they interest the shit out of me. I went camping a few years ago. You remember this trip because I called you and I broke down. But I have video that I've never used. I was in Live Oak, Florida. And up in Live Oak, Florida, there is a plantation. The remains of a plantation. It was the governor's house for the state of Florida after the Civil War. He owned the sawmill out there. He owned most of the town. and he employed most of the town with the sawmill. His house burnt down in the 70s, apparently due to vandalism. Some fucking kids were out there partying and shit, and the house burned down. The only thing that's left is the foundation. And this place had lots of terraces and stuff, so all the stone foundations are still there. I video called my wife from there in the middle of the forest, lost because I couldn't find the damn place. But just the lore behind it is what kind of dragged me to it.
So, and I'm sorry. Last subject where I didn't realize I want to put into here. I should have discussed it with you, but it just now clicked in my head. There was a credit to Nulian Kowar. How do you say his name?
Colion Noir.
Colion Noir, who posted this on his YouTube channel. But there is a woke feminist that finally realizes the importance of the Second Amendment. Put the clip in here.
Again, I'm not saying we should get rid of women's rights, but simply as a thought experiment. If all men just banded together in the supposed ultimate superform patriarchy and said, we're going to walk back women's rights, and we just banded together as men collectively, would men be able to walk back all of women's rights?
No, there's still women out there who would fight for their own voice.
No, but if you look at, for example, like what happened in Afghanistan, was it Afghanistan? We were in Afghanistan. Women were able to go to school and whatnot. Well, the Taliban, the men decided, despite women's desire to be more equal to their male counterparts in Afghanistan, despite their desires and their want for equal rights, the men, by force, I'm not saying it's right, just a thought experiment here, the men by force said, nah.
That's why we have the right to bear arms.
Okay. Well, I'm curious who owns more firearms in this country, men or women. So if we're giving you a scenario where there's literally a military civil war between men and women.
Yes. My answer was what?
You said that
I said the right to bear arms. I didn't even go into detail.
I said that are they stronger? And then you said, no, it's like intellectual. So you alluded to the fact that women could intellectually fight the war.
Right. No, well, you didn't talk about war at that point.
And then I said, don't you think that women would be screwed? And you said, no, we've got the right to bear arms. So why did you bring up the...
I'm making my job harder for myself. So
if you want to, I can do it.
It's okay. I got it. But
I learned how to clip chant because that clip I showed you earlier about the 98 Pontiac Sunfire, I made that fucking clip.
Yeah. So basically, she realizes that, like, if a man...
Yeah, she was like, I want to do it again.
Yeah, to overtake the man could overtake the powers of what women do have, or men were trying to kind of revoke the women power, whatever they got going on, that's right to votes and all that stuff, then they would retort to the Second Amendment. Then what one of the guys in the podcast said that, well, if you look at the statistics, who do you think carries more?
Women.
Men or women?
I think women carry more.
Men.
Really?
Men do.
Well, I mean, that's understandable. There's a lot of women who are still afraid of firearms. But like you said, the clip that we showed, she was like, I don't think the Second Amendment stands today. I think it's antiquated. Next thing you know, she's shooting a fucking 12-gauge shotgun. She's like, yeah!
Yeah, so it's like, but no, she was kind of mentioning it in a way that was passe, like kind of like, that's what the podcasters kind of was questioning. Are you serious about this topic, or are you just using it to baff off into, but she was kind of
baffing muscle spasm in my back.
But she was using it to baff off, but also then realizing it could be used as a serious subject, which the podcasters then mentioned the fact of what's going on in Afghanistan. There are several girls that want to go to school, but there are several Taliban members that are men and saying that No, fuck that shit. Yeah, no. It's like,
no, I mean,
but then here's the thing too. There are men, mostly men, not dismissing the female military members, but there are mostly men that are helping to build up these schools in combat zone areas to making sure that these women do get the education in their country. The irony,
you know who I've got a beef with?
What?
You're gonna hate me.
Who?
And I think it's kind of a misguided comment on this person's part. And like, I am nobody compared to this person, and I respect what this man has done overseas.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got kind of a problem with Tim Kennedy.
How so?
So a while back, let me start by prefacing this. A lot of people in the 2A community think that any kind of restriction on a firearm or how we operate or own or what kind of firearm we operate or own and what accessories are on it is nobody's problem, and any law that, you know, goes against that is a violation of our Second Amendment. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people on that hill, and I understand it. I'm on that hill. I do believe that they are infringements on our rights. However, they are the federal government and shit. So I believe that the best that we can kind of play along, it shows them that we are, as the people, responsible, but understand that, you know, when it comes down to it, you're really not going to tell us what we can and can't do with them. But on that note, Tim Kennedy said that, you know, gun control on a whole is a great thing, which is kind of weird given the environment that Mr. Kennedy surrounds himself in.
Mm-hmm.
I have an AR-15.
Well,
you have an AR-15.
Hold on.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Well, hold on. Let me say this, and I'll let you carry on. Some things could be taken out of context. So what you could be given was taken out of context.
It's not what I was given. It's an actual clip out of a podcast.
Yeah. But,
I'll send you the clip to put in.
Okay.
But it's an actual clip out of a podcast, and there's been a few people who have covered it. Another person I don't really partake with, Heavy Duty Country, actually just covered this a couple of days ago, over Tim Kennedy. And it's not something that I would, like, you know, disrespect the man on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, he's a veteran, he's a service member, and, you know, shout out to all those boys and women. But, you know, you have an AR-15, I have AR-15. You have silver guns, I have silver guns. Apparently, these are not things that the everyday civilian should own, let alone an 18 or 19-year-old. And this is kind of what Mr. Kennedy is alluding to. I'm not 100% sure on his verbatim, but I think those were the words used. And I think it kind of, it comes off as this kind of gatekeeperish kind of vibe. You know, oh, I'm military, so I should be able to have these guns, but, you know, guns for you, guns for me, not guns for thee. And it's like, again, it seems that way. And if I'm wrong, I would love for the opportunity to be able to pick the man's brain on the situation. Again, utmost respect to you, Tim Kennedy. It's more of, hey, what's up with this? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what's your real thought on this? So my question to you now is: do you think that the military community has more of a right to the level of weaponry than the civilians do? And do you think that they have more of a right to knowledge to protect, you know, or that could be used to be taught to civilians?
Yeah, yes and no, because I'll tell you why. And the fact of you do have to go through several courses and certification to become an instructor. Where
let me amend that. I can understand certain things shouldn't be taught.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't teach everybody how to handle explosives. Obviously, you can't teach everybody how to handle nuclear devices.
Yeah.
There's obviously boundaries and limits, and that being understood, do you think it's wise to train civilians to be able to assist the military in a dire situation, such as we're being invaded and our military spread out so much overseas, we only have so much at home? Don't you think that, more prior military veterans would be on board teaching civilians, responsible civilians, obviously?
Yes.
Those kind of, obviously not explosive stuff, but teaching them how to communicate through combat, communicate through stress,
depending upon how good they
situations, rifle use.
Depending on how good they are, because you could still be in the military and shoot the lowest qual for a rifle range, which is I think still 190 on the rifle range for both, because there's two tables. You could still shoot the lowest required to pass for the rifle range. However, 300 is where it's a marksman, that's the top.
And obviously not everyone's going to shoot 300.
Yeah, so I think that that should be looked more into. But when I think about it too, and I might be overthinking it, you also have to think about the civilians, kind of what is their motive? Because remember,
absolutely.
Because remember, not a lot of people know this, but before 9/11 happened, did you know that the pilots that hijacked the train, the people that hijacked the plane, took lessons here in Tampa from a pilot?
Yeah. I do believe motivation is a very big factor in it. Obviously, you can tell left or right wing nuts from regular everyday people who are just, I want to learn this so that if something happens, I can protect my family while we get to safety. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got 5,000 rounds and six heavy sniper rifles, and we're going to go to the border and kick off some kind of domino effect, if you know what I'm saying. I'm talking to you, Tom, that Tennessee dude who just got fucking pinched for talking shit to undercover agents. Like, duh, are you stupid? Why would you tell people shit? Like, you keep that shit to yourself. Those are intrusive thoughts. You don't let the intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah.
You store up your fucking ammunition and you wait for nothing to happen. I think that's what people need to be understanding here, is that you shouldn't be trying to take down your government. You should be trying to fix it. I don't think that a lot of people are ready to go that route where you have to destroy and overthrow your government.
I have a question for you. Do you think that people should look less towards gun control and more towards issues of how these guns can't be not transported illegally, but get into the wrong hands of people? They get into the wrong hands. Because, I can legally buy a pew pew that was imported over to here by, like going to a 4473. But should people look more into how a weapon was brought illegally over here via the black market or gang like activity and how to restrain that rather than restraining people that legally have the right to own a firearm and are actually good citizens.
No, I'm sniffing what you're farting. I understand you, but regardless, that is like fighting the war on drugs. You can look into it and look into it and look into it, and that's what we've done with the war on drugs for 30, 40 years now. We've looked into it, and it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse.
What I will say, we have learned one thing is that cannabis, you can't overdose on cannabis smoking weed.
That's true. But let's put this into perspective. Prohibition. They made alcohol illegal. What happened?
Made people want to drink more.
Exactly. Like you still it still found its way into the country. Regardless, you couldn't stop it. Okay.
And it made a lot more people eat ice cream, too.
Yeah. So now think about this. You have the war on drugs. Obviously, the war on weed probably was misguided, and it was a smear campaign. There are beneficial things to it. If you're an absolute idiot anyway, you probably shouldn't be smoking weed. That's just kind of like a human standpoint. If you're a piece of shit and you're lazy as fuck, you probably shouldn't smoke weed all day. If you're hardworking and you have a bad back and you don't want to take fucking prescription pills for painkillers and shit like that, after your kids are gone to bed and everyone's asleep and it's late at night, fucking spark up there, Sparky. Go ahead, go to sleep. Fucking make that money so your daughter can eat her Cheerios the next morning. I'm all for that. I'm not for burnouts who are 35 years old, live in their mom's basement, just smoke weed all fucking day, no job, no aspects, no gumption in life. And obviously,
hold on, I'm going to throw in some more information. It's been proven that edible cannabis has been helping to help kids that have cancer or some certain diseases, to where cannabis can help them, even with seizures. If a kid is prone,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That would go more towards like radiation and chemotherapy. It helps with the sickness and nausea that you get from chemotherapy. That is an absolute thing. It helps with glaucoma and cataracts. Obviously, that was a misguided kind of war, but you have, the war on crack and cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, PCP, meth, all that stuff. Guess what? Fucking Seattle is a shithole. San Francisco is a shithole. Philadelphia is a shithole. Everywhere else is slowly becoming a shithole because you're fighting this war on drugs and it's not working. Now, we switch gears, go back to guns. What do you think is going to happen? You outlaw guns and they're still going to get in. Prohibition, anybody?
Yeah.
War on drugs, anybody? We just covered this shit. You're not going to get anywhere with gun control.
Yeah.
Gun control is not going to work. Okay? We already have problems in America. We tried to quell them. Guess what? They became bigger problems. So, I don't think that's going to work. What I think we need to be looking at is the politicians. Why are they making? Why is the president worth millions of dollars? Why is Nancy Pelosi worth billions of dollars?
Because of how much she gets paid for speaking, even though motherfuckers can't speak.
See, here's the thing: if you're a politician like that, you shouldn't be receiving money for speaking. Okay, your salary should be whatever the minimum wage in your state is. Period. Point blank. There's no reason a senator should be worth millions of dollars. Why is that? Who is he getting millions of dollars from? What is he getting millions of dollars from? I don't think that politicians should be trading stocks and bonds.
I think that's a law. I think that's a law too.
There's no insider trading.
Okay.
You can't have people say, "Hey, you need to invest in this because they're getting ready to sell at a high price. So if you buy low now, and once they fucking sell, you fucking sell all your stuff off, and you'll make billions of dollars. Yeah, that's insider trading. I trade, but it's not insider trading because obviously I don't have anybody feeding me this kind of information because I'm not in a position of power. I don't think politicians should be trading on the market, period, point blank. If you can't live off the same fucking wages that you expect your constituents to raise a family off of, what the fuck are you doing in office?
Do you know what company has high stocks in freedom?
Fucking Article 1776.
You like that transition?
That was good. It was good.
There you go. Guys, shop at article1776.com where you can get all the clothes of freedom, and we're donating 5% of the proceeds to the boot campaign. I want to say thank you all so much for watching and listening. Scott, still give them your socials, please.
No. This is episode 79, and I don't fucking want to say it anymore. I'm tired of it. Bullshit.
For our new viewers.
Okay, Scottsdale87 on Twitch and Twitter. Underscore between Scottsdale and 87 for Instagram. Follow me on Instagram and actually follow me on Twitter because is it Twitter or is it Instagram?
The X.
Both of them. I post funny shit.
So, my name is Matt. You can find the link description of my socials down below. And I want to say thank you all so much for watching, listening. We love you, you beautiful beaches, and freedom the fuck on.